Doc Rivers is the latest NBA head coaching casualty after the recent firings of Mike Budenholzer and Monty Williams. But which team has the most attractive situation for a new coach? What's going on, everybody? Here's your boy Scott Procter, and this right here is Procter's point of view. Before we get into today's episode, make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment and subscribe. And if you do comment, keep an eye out because that comment could be featured in a future video like this one right here. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of this episode as well to see if you can guess which current NBA coach has 2 championships but 0 Coach of the Year awards, while Doc Rivers, Mike Budenholzer, and Monty Williams have a combined 4 of them things. But to this topic today, there are currently 5 NBA teams with head coach openings, and 3 of those teams, the Bucks, 76ers, and the Suns, were not only playoff teams this season, but top 4 seeds with MVP caliber superstars on each of those teams. Whoever they hire as a head coach will walk into a pretty solid situation. But one franchise, they stand above the rest as the most attractive landing spot. Let's start though with the Milwaukee Bucks, who have finals MVP and 2-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. But not much else to be excited about if we keeping it real. Jrue Holiday, he's still an excellent two-way player, but he'll be 33 years old after having his worst shooting season since he was a Pelican. That's real facts. Go look it up. Chris Middleton, he's going to be 32 years old next year with a $40 million player option for next season, which is just ridiculously expensive for someone coming off their worst shooting season since their rookie year. Again, that's real facts. Look it up if you don't believe me. But that big 3 right there, if you want to call it that, just isn't championship caliber, no matter how tired of the disrespect Giannis is. And we saw evidence of that this season. Then there's obviously the Sixers, who have the MVP of the league in Joel Embiid. They're in a bit better shape than the Milwaukee Bucks, if you ask me, obviously because they have a young emerging star in Tyrese Maxey, who's still on a relatively cheap contract. The wild card here obviously is James Harden, who led the NBA in assists this season and has a $35 million player option for next season, which is crazy, which is still cheaper than what Middleton is owed by the Milwaukee Bucks next season. But nonetheless, he is likely going to opt out of that player option. And if he does, and likely head to Houston, that's not a bad deal for the Philadelphia 76ers because they could turn that into real flexibility to build around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey with an improved supporting cast. And that right there, that's enticing. But to the most attractive head coach opening available in the NBA right now, it's the Phoenix Suns. Not only do they have an inarguable top 5 duo in the league with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they're probably the only team, aside from the Lakers, of course, who have 2 surefire top 10 players. Durant and Book combined for 62.7 points per game this postseason, which is just ridiculous. What did Phoenix in this season ultimately led to their demise was its lack of depth, and I talked about that on a previous video, but that right there, that could be fixed based on what happens this offseason with DeAndre Ayton and particularly Chris Paul. Both of those guys are on the books for about $30 million a piece next season, but neither is expected to be back in Phoenix. If the Suns are able to turn Ayton and Paul into legitimate rotational pieces, almost like what they had in Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, they should be among the 2024 title favorites with the right coach. But back to the question I posed at the top. Do you know which current NBA coach has 2 rings but 0 Coach of the Year awards, while Doc, Bud, and Monty have a combined 4? It's Miami Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra, who's still one of the very best and underrated coaches in basketball. And lo and behold, his Miami Heat are right back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the 2nd consecutive year. But that's going to do it for this episode. Let me know in the comments, who is the most attractive opening for a potential head coach? Is it the Bucks? Is it the Suns? Is it the Sixers? Is it somebody else? Let me know something. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you right here tomorrow on Procter's Point of View. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bvmsports.com.